Lauren. I'm a senior and I am a marketing and management major.
And then we've got Hector today too.
Yeah, hello everyone. I'm a senior, double major in accounting and finance, and yeah.
All right, so for today's questions, we're going to start with Liam. Liam was working at Spring Education Group as his internship. So Liam, why did you prioritize getting an internship?
I really wanted to get out there. I didn't have an internship beforehand. I really needed to get something on that resume. So I really tried to prioritize it. You know, I spent pretty much every day going on the job boards looking for stuff. And I mean, you just got to keep working at it because if you don't have anything on there, if you wait till end of junior year or end of senior year, you're going to be, SOL. It's not going to be very good.
All right, so how did you get it after going through all those job boards?
Eventually, I got it from LinkedIn, the LinkedIn job boards, which, okay, so this was a mistake on my part. I probably should have made a LinkedIn profile way before this, but I was lazy and I didn't do it. So I made a LinkedIn profile this year. I did that, and I think that really helped. You got to make sure it looks really good, though. Otherwise, it's you're not going to get a lot of offers and stuff like that. But I've been after I edited it, I actually got another internship, but I got that after I accepted this one, so I declined that one. But I did that. I made the LinkedIn, and all this stuff started happening. So if you didn't do that yet, I would say to definitely do that.
I think that's a really great point about the LinkedIn. And Business Bytes is actually going to be doing a program on LinkedIn in the coming weeks. So if you're interested or don't have one already, I suggest coming to that. So Liam, what points are most important to you in the internship process?
Definitely the interview and your resume. If you don't have a good resume, they're not even gonna really look at or call you for an interview. And then during the interview, you definitely want to know your stuff. You don't want to know just stuff about what you've done. You also want to know what the company is, like what they do, how you can benefit them. Because if you just go in the interview, you don't even know what they do. You just know their name. It's not going to work out very well. So, do your research beforehand if you get an interview and know what you're going to talk about, and think about the tough questions they might ask you, and think about the best way you could really put it. And
Do you think your interview went well?
Yeah, I had a Zoom interview, which by the way, yeah, if you're doing a Zoom interview now, obviously dress really nice, and make sure there's not any distractions and stuff. But yeah, it went well. I mean, I feel like as you get to the tougher jobs, I don't know, if at least for me, at least, like the higher jobs, like internships, compared to like when I was 16, they're asking me a lot easier questions. Like I don't know, because when I was like 16, they would ask me stuff like what's your biggest weakness and stuff. I haven't got any of that yet, so I don't know if that was just me, but be prepared for that, and know what you're gonna say beforehand.
Thank you for sharing that with us, Liam. And I'm glad your interview went well and that you enjoyed the internship. So we're going to move on to Zach now, who worked at RTD Financial. Zach, can you tell us a little bit about your internship, just as a brief overview?
Yeah, so my internship, so as a sports management major, obviously there's the want to do something in like the sports world, but I wasn't fortunate enough to get in like a job or an internship in that field. So I actually went the entire different route, and I was basically working for a data organization, and I just kind of moved files around for a financial firm, which is completely different for me because I hate finance and I hate numbers and I hate all that stuff. But I was like, at the same time, it kind of worked out that, I knew a person in a position at a firm and they were offering a paid internship spot. And, with COVID and being home, I was working 40 hours a week for 4 weeks at home, just moving files, super tedious, like brainless power work type of thing. But it was good because it's experience, as a sports management major, I get to have that experience of doing some, heavy numbers based and accounting based type of financial advising, moving reports around and stuff like that. So kind of a blessing in disguise.
So considering the fact it didn't completely relate to your major, did you find anything in particular valuable?
Yeah, so my big thing with internships is you may not be working like your ideal job or in your ideal field, but you're working for a business. And that's super important because the teamwork aspect and like the interpersonal connections, like I had to do a certain amount of tasks and I had to send an email. And then I had to go downstairs. My dad worked at the same firm. So I was like, can you look at these numbers for me? And it was really important because even though I made a completely different job, I still had certain responsibilities that I had to uphold. And that's really important because no matter where you go or whatever field you work in, you're not, I mean, unless you're really good, you're not going to be the top dog right away. And you're going to have to work your way up. And, you know, those interpersonal connections and those little like communication is really important to like growing and developing in the field.
Do you think you could elaborate on interpersonal connections? How did you get your job?
Yeah, so I was really fortunate that my dad works for a financial firm and they needed someone to do data entry and like analytical data stuff. And not to undermine my hard work, because I do work really hard and I'm good with numbers, but it worked out that way that they couldn't have someone supervised during COVID because obviously they couldn't go into the office. So I was like, hey, Dad, you know, I can do it. And you work downstairs, so you can just supervise me. And like, obviously, I'm very fortunate that it worked out that way. But when I mean personal connections, it's meetings, emails, phone calls, calling clients, and stuff like that you're always going to have to do. And obviously, it's limited communication because you're not in person, but it's still valuable nonetheless.
All right, so we're going to move on to somebody else who had an online internship experience. So Lauren, who worked at Envision Innovative Solutions, could you tell us a little bit about your internship?
Okay, so my internship was a little strange, I would say, definitely because of COVID and moving online. I actually worked for Envision last summer, and I was in the office, and I worked on a database last summer, kind of doing what Zach was talking about, just data entry. I was mostly researching companies. It was a little boring and tedious, but this summer I got rehired on as a marketing intern for a new subdivision of the company working on online education, which you think is great because COVID made everything go online and people need online tutors and everything, but it's also a hard market to get into now because of that. And everyone else is, you think of Khan Academy as the top dog. So my company that is typically a cybersecurity government contracting company, now trying to break into online education, it was a little difficult. Most of my duties relied on talking to my boss, setting up schedules, meetings, working on the website, really putting together the website, kind of a bunch of small tasks that look at the overall big picture.
So before you had done it last summer, how did you find the internship?
I found the internship through Colonel Ringgold. He actually used to be a professor here at Rosemont. So it was kind of just a networking and connection through Rosemont, really.
Did the interview process go well for you?
Yeah, it was a really casual interview process. It was kind of just, we emailed back and forth. I sent through my resume, and then because I had seen him, he was somewhat of my advisor, then it was a really informal process. And then when I met the CEO of the company, we kind of just discussed a little bit of what my priorities would be and my responsibilities, and then he hired me on the spot.
That's really exciting. So you had your internship 2 different summers in a row. Did the online internship meet your expectations?
Yes and no. It was really difficult trying to communicate with everybody. And that was one thing that I guess everyone really could relate to this summer. But it was really hard trying to get everyone to focus and meet at one time to discuss our goals for that week and then even move forward with this new project. And I would say right now we're still trying to get this project off the ground because we ran into so many bumps, or some of the companies we wanted to work with are overseas. So working with them, we can only talk to them a certain amount of hours. So moving it online wasn't ideal, but towards the end of it, which I would really say like just last month, we started to get the hang of it and really worked out a great schedule.
That's awesome. Thank you for sharing. And then I want to move us over to Hector, who actually has had 2 internships so far at, I'm not going to try to pronounce it, Hector, you tell us.
Okay, I actually did have 3 internships. The first one was with the IRS. They have a program for literally anybody. It doesn't matter if you're an I'm an accounting major, by the way. But even if you're not an accounting major, but you're interested in learning about taxes, the IRS has this program. It's called VITA, Volunteer Income Tax Associate. And that's basically for anybody who wants to help out communities, lower income communities. So basically, that's what I did. I knew that I needed an internship in order to graduate. And I did that internship during my sophomore year, and I wasn't clear what I wanted to do with my accounting degree. So at that point, I just told myself, I mean, I'm just gonna give it a try, see what it's like, and I'm just gonna sign up. And that's literally what I did. I just signed up. The IRS trained me and the other interns for about 2 weeks in everything you needed to know about individual income tax laws. And after that, they just assigned me to an office in the Philadelphia area. And basically, I would just go there 15 hours a week and just help out my clients to file their individual income tax returns. And I did learn a lot about individual tax. And I think that first internship set the foundation for the other two internships that I would do during my junior year. And then after that, when I knew that I wanted to become a CPA, that's when I started to get serious about getting more internships. And that's when I found out about this company. It's called CLA, Clifton Larson Allen. It's a public accounting firm. And I just applied there. They had a summer program for sophomore and juniors. So what I did, I just signed up for that summer program, which was like a week where you get to learn about the culture of the company and you get to meet the different people working at the office. And after that summer program ended, they extended me an internship, which I completed this past spring. It ran from January until I think it was March when the coronavirus outbreak started. And it was a great experience. I learned a lot about over there at TLA. I worked with private clients and also some small corporations that mainly focused on real estate. So companies that maybe most of the clients that I work with were construction companies who were doing some real estate developments, and also individuals who had some real estate investments. So basically, what I would do, it was basically the same thing that I did for the IRS, just do individual and corporation tax returns, and that was basically it. And then finally, the other internship that I did was this past summer. It's another accounting firm. It's called Deloitte, and I was supposed to go to their office, but of course, coronavirus happened. It was supposed to be a 10-week internship. I was gonna work in their international tax department, but at the end, it ended up being an internet internship where I just got to learn about the culture of the company. I got to meet the team that I would be working for next year because they did give me a full-time offer for next year. And at the end, we just did a presentation on an international tax topic. But yeah, I learned a lot about taxes during those 3 internships. So I don't know if you have any questions.
Actually, I've got a few. First of all, congratulations on the full-time offer.
Thank you.
As everyone can tell, Hector is obviously very experienced in internships. So just accounting major specific, how did you decide between tax and audit if you want to be a public accountant?
So yeah, basically, if you want to go into public accounting and become a CPA, you're gonna have only two choices: either go for taxes or audit. And if you want to work in public accounting, you should start looking for internships as soon as your sophomore year, even maybe at the end of your freshman year. And when I was looking for internships in public accounting, I didn't have any experience and I didn't know anything about audit. So I just ended up with taxes since some of my professors, I don't know if you know Chad Workman, he's one of the professors who teaches several of the accounting courses. He's also a tax accountant. So I ended up just choosing taxes because most of the people I knew did taxes. But if I could advise you something, if you're trying to go for public accounting, I would suggest just if you get the chance, experience audit, because you never know if you're gonna like audit over tax. In my case, after I actually took my audit class this past semester, and I'm happy that I chose taxes because audit wasn't my favorite course. So I knew I made a right decision in going for taxes. But yeah, I mean, if you get a chance, just I would suggest just getting an experience in both accounting, my bad, in both audit and tax.
So you said you recommend getting your first internship as early as the end of your freshman year. How much experience should you have before your first internship?
Okay, so that's the thing. That depends on whether you are trying to become a CPA or you're just trying to go right into private accounting. But in my opinion, and my recommendation is if you're trying to become a CPA, most of the big companies, whether they're the big four, whether it is Deloitte, KPMG, EY, PwC, or any of the other big accounting firms, they're most likely want people who have previous experience, or at least that's what I think. Especially since we go to a very small school, and Rosemont, it's not a school. It's not a school that's considered a target school for these big companies. So definitely having a any type of accounting internship, whether it's with the IRS or whether it's, I don't know, doing bookkeeping for any company or any type of internship before you apply for an internship in public accounting, that's definitely going to help you out a lot.
And then my last question, I'm going to ask you the same thing I asked Lauren. Considering you had multiple internships, how would you compare the ones you had in person to the one you had online?
I mean, definitely, I learned way more during my in-person internship with CLA. And at the end of the day, I mean, this something new that every company is doing, you know, their employees working from home full time. So I didn't get a chance of learning a lot online because of COVID and everybody working online. And like Lauren says, it's hard to, you know, get in contact with other people since everybody's online. So I didn't get a chance of learning a lot with Deloitte. But I mean, I'm still grateful that they were able to, you know, turn my internship into an online internship and still pay me for it. So I have nothing to complain about. But I definitely learned more in my in-person internship with CLA. So
Thank you. So we've gone over everybody's internships briefly. Is there any questions from the audience? No? All right. Do you guys have anything you want to add about your internship applying, like the process to apply for your internships?
yes, I do have I just want to go off what Liam said earlier. He says that it's very important to, you know, get to know the industry, maybe the company that you want to apply to. And I think that's somewhat important, but at the end of the day, you just have to be natural when you go to your interview. Because I'm gonna share a quick story. So actually, I applied to Deloitte. For those of you who don't know what Deloitte is, they're the biggest accounting firm in the world. And when I applied to Deloitte the first time, I actually was rejected. And I thought I did everything by the books. I literally studied for like 2 days about their culture, what they do. I thought I was very prepared. But at the end of the day, I think I didn't get the internship the first time because there wasn't that connection between the partner who interviewed me. And I think that's the reason why I didn't get it. So that's why I'm saying that if you go to an interview to get an internship, just be yourself, be as natural as you can. Because then the second time that I applied to Deloitte, I felt that the partner who interviewed me, we had a really good connection. I thought he was going to ask me things about the culture of the company or something related to the company. But when we were speaking on the phone, we literally were talking about everything else other than the company. We were just talking about how he was going to India for that weekend to meet some clients. We were talking about football. So yeah, definitely just be as natural as you can and don't try to push it. Just act as you would act normally. So yeah.
That was a great addition, Hector. Would everyone else agree that the relationship really matters during the interview process? That looks like a unanimous yes. All right, so if we don't have any other questions, I think we can conclude it for the night. I hope you guys learned something about applying for internships. And of course, if you have any questions, we do have an Instagram now. It's Rosemont_business bites. And you can always send us a message to ask, or if you want to connect with one of the panelists or even be on the panel yourself, just let us know.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.